So we've got the photos that we've got earlier. If you've watched behind the scenes stuff, we've got a couple of extra subjects in there as well. If not, don't worry, it was optional, and I've included some of the final images into the main shooting video as well, so hopefully you've seen those just at the very tail end. Now I have got a whole bunch of photos into Lightroom ready to go, so let's just jump on straight on over and let's get started on that side of things. Now I've gone ahead and just gone through the photos that I've had and just picked and rejected using my P and X shortcuts within Lightroom, and I've come out with a total of 23 images, okay, from across all the different products that I've taken the photos of. These are just the ones that I haven't quite decided on yet. Those are the ones that I definitely don't want to get rid of, and I just want to do a little bit of editing and tweaking and seeing which ones I want to decide to eventually keep and actually go with, okay. However, I'm obviously not going to go through all of those, so I'm going to quickly jump into my quick collection folder here. I've just got 5 here that I'm going to go across now. I've obviously gone for a fairly dark style on on my still life, which is what I've been entirely drawn towards as I've been going through these videos. It's personal preference. But I just want to, we will be doing different things with each of them, even though they are all quite dark, the edits will be a little bit different. Okay, so I just want to run through these. So let's carry on with the first one. So into my develop tab. Now this one is very, very quick, just to demonstrate. If you are using your own household bulbs for your lighting, which is absolutely fine if that's what you have at the moment. If you can, try and get daylight bulbs, okay, and they have a bit of a cooler effect. And all that simply means is on the back of the box, you'll see that they're listed as, or on the front, they're listed as a daylight bulb, okay, and generally then on the back, it's got a listing of a K rating, which is normally 5,500 or 6,000, there or thereabouts. So 5,500 K, which is for Kelvin, and that is the color temperature of the bulb, and that is what's considered a daylight bulb, okay, it's a nice kind of daylight, cool white sort of light effect. Whereas in this one, you'll see these are more normal standard kind of household bulbs and it's a bit yellowy. Very easy to fix. So in the develop tab, you've got the top section here on the white balance. And all I'm going to do is come to the temperature bit and just going to pull it down ever so slightly towards the blue side. 1, maybe 2 notches with my scroll mouse, and that gives it that kind of fresh white look. Okay, that itself for me is a relatively flat image. I mean, it works, but I liked playing about a little bit more. So let's just move on from this one. Now, this is the first one that I liked the effect that I had on, or one of the better ones certainly, that I liked the effect I had on it. I've got everything nice and dark with really just the downward light from behind. So you've got the shadows just across the front section here. And what I want to do with this is, I think, increase the contrast a little, bring the black down, and what this is going to do is almost just completely cut out the background. I don't want to get rid of it completely, but almost gone. Okay, and let's bring the highlights up a little. What I'm basically doing here is really just highlighting the leaves themselves. Okay, I'm kind of cutting out everything around, just trying to get the right balance. I think that works relatively well. A little bit of clarity just to help punch them up just a little bit. And I think a little bit of a crop just to help position them a little better. Tiny, tiny bit. It's hard when you're looking at a dark image, but I think that's about right. Okay, and then the usuals, oops, just a little bit of sharpening, which is minor, you probably won't even notice the difference. And profile corrections from the camera, should probably start with that to be fair. Now I'm quite happy with that, and if just curious, I think that would work quite well in black and white as well. So I think I'm actually going to leave this one in black and white and move on to the next one. Okay, so this is another plant one. We've got the third plant in the background there. Again, I'm going to start off with a quick crop just to center that rear plant just a little. what I'm going to do here, so I'm liking the way the light's cutting across, so I'm going to add a little bit of contrast again, just to help emphasize that. Exposure a teensy bit lighter. No, let's keep that down actually. Let's bring the shadows down a touch. The black down just a little as well. There we go. And the highlights, I would normally increase these. Bring them down. Don't want to make it too dark. Let's leave them up just a little. What I particularly want to do with this one is really emphasize the contrast of the red in the back. So I'm going to come to my saturation. I'm going to bring up my red just a little, don't want to overdo it. And my magenta, because they've got a fair bit of purple in there as well. And I want to do the same with the luminance, just to help brighten those just a touch. Again, it's going to be easy if I go way up. And again, this is going to be fairly subtle. I think I'm drowning out a little bit of the colour, so I'm just going to bring those highlights down a little bit more. There. Okay. That. Pop a quick sharpening on there. And that is a shot I'm quite happy with. I'm definitely liking that. Okay, let's move to the next one. This is our fourth proper one. A little bit of Jack and Sally on this one. Let's see. Okay, well I'm at the bottom anyway. Let's quickly pop on the standards. I really should just sync these, but I haven't, so it takes 2 seconds to do it individually. Right, okay, again, a little bit similar. Contrast is going to be up. Exposure down a touch. I'm also going to cool this one down a little as well, so it's my temperature down just a bit. Does it work on the cool side? Maybe about there, I think. For some reason these cups never look straight. Just tweak that a little. Okay. Right. Shadow's going to bring down. And what this is doing is kind of cutting out the shadow from around the bottom of the cup, so we just reset that. And just to bring it right down to show the difference. It's really bringing it around the edges. Okay. Don't want to take it quite that far. About there. The black, a tiny touch down as well. Giving it a bit more of an ominous effect. Okay, again, clarity. And clarity works quite well for this one, just with the amount of edging and detail on the cups themselves. So again, you can really overdo this. I'm just going to ramp it right up to show you. That just makes it look a bit awful. Okay, so you don't want to take it quite that far. Maybe you do, it's your choice. But I am going to go for about there, I think. Really highlight some of the detail in there. I think that is going to work quite well for me. Yep, okay, I'm quite happy with that one. Sometimes you can stare at these for a bit too long and just kind of lose touch of what they are. Now, this one's a little bit more of a challenge. Trying to get the exposure between the different light sources while keeping some shadow in there. Relatively happy with the end result, so let's just straighten that up a little. Now, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, now, let's see, I'm going to cool down the colour just a touch, which should change how the lit area is. Shadows down a little. I really want to have this quite dark and quite subdued, with really just that side highlighted, and obviously the heart shape itself. Tweak that a little bit more. There we go. I think black and white. Black and white will work quite well for this one. Obviously not so much with that brightness, so I'm just going to show here the colour. For the colour version, that level of brightness is absolutely fine, but when you dip that into black and white, that looks really bright. So if I'm keeping it black and white, I'm going to bring the highlights, oh, not quite that much, down quite a bit. Maybe about there, 15 down. Okay, and a bit of contrast. And a reasonable bit of clarity. You can see as well, just the way this is set, the clarity is really bringing up the difference in the light areas as well. So you need to be very careful with this one. So I don't want to give too much of that away. I think maybe just a little bit extra in the exposure. Don't want it to be too dark. Depending on how this, I'm also looking at it on my display, depending on how it's going to display on other people's monitors. I don't want it to be completely darkened out. I think that will work just there. I'm seeing a little white spot right just here. You may or may not be able to see that on whatever you're watching this on, but I'm just going to come in a bit closer. That little white spot there is drawing my attention a little, so I'm just going to use the heel spot removal brush there. In fact, I can go big enough just to get rid of both of those bits because it's so dark. I know it's going to heal it, but I want to keep it as close as possible. So I'm just going to bring it in line with the very slight lighter line that's there. And we wouldn't normally bother, but just because I'm here, I'm going to get rid of these two little sections as well. Just because I can see them, because I'm looking so closely. Right, there we go. Okay, that looks a bit better. And I think I'm quite happy with that one. So maybe better without the line of the glass that's inside there, but that's the shot we have, and that's what we have. Okay. So there we go, guys. Fairly quick edits across those 4 images. I'm going to take these across into the other 20 odd images that I've got there and have a little bit of a tweak with those as well. And for the ones that I've done here, I'll do a before and after shot just as we finish off this video. So this really wraps things up, certainly for now, in the still life side of things. And this course should absolutely give you enough information to get started and start producing hopefully some excellent images. Okay, and I absolutely want to see them, so make sure you're firing them into the members group once you've run through this course, because I really genuinely do want to see what you come up with. I have gone very dark on these ones. You might go completely opposite direction, but with whether it's natural light or whether you're using your own lighting, this should have covered off the basics for you. If you think anything could be added or anything else you would like to see, anything you're still unsure of, by all means jump on into the members group in Facebook and ask any questions or raise any suggestions at all, and we'll see where we can go from there. Okay, for just now, this is the beginner's guide to still life photography, signing off, and I'll see you guys in future videos.